When the soldiers heard the explosion, they ran to see if Luis was okay and if anybody else was injured. And Luis was the only one that was injured. Luis was still conscious and talking, and so when the soldiers started calling his name, he answered to them. And so they put him in a chopper, and they were on their way to the hospital in Kandahar.
And when he got there, they noticed they had no pulse and no heart beating. So the doctors immediately opened his chest and did a heart massage with their hands. So he arrived in Launceston, Germany on Wednesday, and we met him on the following day on Thursday. We were in shock when we saw the horror of how he looked.
Well, the doctors considered him to be in a semi-vegetarian stage. You know, sometimes he has instances when somebody talks to him and he looks at you and he recognizes you. Other times, we don't know. But we know that he's there. You know, we have seen signs that he understands when we talk to him, he understands what we said, and he tries to respond to us.
As we look for houses around the city, one house was just kind of a little bit ideal, but when you go to look for the shower, that shower had it in the middle of a hall. It was so difficult to negotiate a wheelchair into the entrance of the shower, which was very narrow. The entrance to the bathroom, again, the door needs to be wide enough to let a wheelchair go in. And also the room needs to be able to give us room to have the bed, which is almost like a hospital bed, and maybe a stretcher, and take him to the shower. One of our greatest dreams is to finally celebrate both Thanksgiving Day and Christmas. And so as we prepare all the food for it, we would like to have him around.
Because one of the things that he enjoyed doing was cooking. And so this is something that we want to be able to give to him as part of beginning to give him some sense of new life, restarting a new life. And so I think that the house that we're looking for him is just the beginning of bringing some sense of normality back into his life.
An example is that they impressed me was how accessible the bathroom will be. The door is so wide and so big that I was just wow. And if we have a rail in the ceiling, it will be even much easier to bring him into the shower, because that's going to be a kind of a daily event.
Having a home, it will give him a sense of security, not only for him, but also later on when he decides to get married, to start a new family. And I think that for him, this is very important, because spending 18 months in the hospital and not knowing if he was going to survive this, but now being able to begin thinking about a new life and being able to enjoy that life in the house is a big part of that.
With Home for Our Troops, we have fulfilled one of the things that we have been yearning for so long, is just to go home, to go home. That's our dream, our prayer, you know, our yearning. And then they have this huge question, but where do we call home? Home for Our Troops comes to fulfill this amazing desire, this amazing dream for our son to have a place to call home.